The amount of character in its tone and composition make Bayugumye Chibuga, which means they shook the city, a song to remember. Composed by Professor Simeon Kaiwa and sung by the Calvary Cross Choir, the song describes the journey and suffering of the Uganda Martyrs to the time of their death, many thrown into a fire at Namugongo. Kaiwa put his brain to task when he was asked by the then Bishop of Namirembe Church of Uganda, the late Dunstan Nsubuga, to compose a piece to be performed during the consecration of a church at Busega.
I was one of those choirs that came and least expected to do anything intelligent. They expected me to sing, Ye mulunji, ye mulunji, ye mulunji, katonda wafe. So they didn't give me even a good, proper seat or position in the church to sit with the choir. They told me to sit somewhere in the middle with the congregation. They didn't know that I had written a song. So everybody sang and they clapped hands in the normal traditional way. And somebody sits down after singing. And the celebrated people, Nyoza, Escato's Bride, and others.
His choir was young and not widely known until they opened their mouths to sing the new song that piqued the congregation's interest.
He stood up and sang. And there was so much excitement. There was uncle, uncle, uncle. Everybody stood up and shouted and shouted and shouted. I think they made us repeat the song about 6 times.
The Association of Choral Music invited Kaiwa to perform at the National Theatre and opened the opportunity to record the song.
The people in the theatre became wild like beasts. I'd never seen human beings behave like that. You see, to a song. When we went out there, were waiting to lift me up. I had to copyright it. I had to put it on cassette, recorder, and the Ebonies volunteered to do it for me.
The song was composed at a time when the then government was at war with rebels of National Resistance Army led by Yoweri Museveni, and it landed Kaiwa into trouble.
For them, they associated it with maybe the soldiers who were in the bush coming, fighting. And there were some of them were young people who had volunteered to die for the sake of the peace we are enjoying today, okay? That was my association. I didn't intend the song to be like that, okay?
He recently wrote another piece about Janan Luwum, the Archbishop of the Church of Uganda, who was martyred in 1977 during the presidency of Idi Amin Dada.
I don't know whether it's a matter, it's up to God, but I celebrate him for the things he did for this country and for Christianity.
I met Dr. Abisega Wachibalama, another non-Catholic composer of the Uganda Martyrs songs and the director of the Escato's Bride's Choir in Kalambi Village, Wachiso District. He was key in the popularization of the song Bewayo, or They Surrendered Themselves. He refuted that he was the original composer.
Nange ndi muyimbi buyimbi kuluyimba oba fe twakyusamu okugonza kuba lulike bitundu banga 10 simanyidde ddala nyulu kwagala obutaba buwanvu nnyo ne tukola yite ntya ne tukendeeza
Both Chibalama and Kaweesa are disappointed that the Anglican Church does not glorify the act of the Uganda Martyrs in spite of their efforts to compose music about the men who gave their lives for Christianity.
I don't have to belong to a religion to see the philosophical value in their act. Anybody in Uganda who is human will therefore respect what they did. I don't worship them as my gods, but I appreciate what they did.
Chibalama composed another song about the martyrs, including a song about Kabaka Mutesa I, who invited the missionaries to spread the gospel. As church composers, the copyright to their work is still a challenge. Although Kaweesa put his music into solfa notation, the recorded pieces are fetching money for people who did not work on them. For example, those who upload it on YouTube to commercialize it. At 89 years, Chibalama says that he's still working hard to revolutionize the Scattles Brides Choir, even though many of its founding members are dead. But Professor Kaweesa Calvary Cross Choir has been flexible, fitting into the changing musical generations, and today they perform with contemporary music instruments which could have drawn more youth in to keep the group going. Solomon Kaweesa, NTV.